Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, Karen demands her free coffee now and then demands my phone number. A Karen honked at me while trying to load my baby and stubborn stroller into the trunk. I called out two abiliists and they're too entitled to fight back. You must seat us together. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Karen demands her free coffee now and then demands my phone number. I do work in customer service for a while now, but I did not have much experience with entitled people. That changed when I started to work as a train attendant. It is a job similar to the flight attendant, with the difference that you can stop the train whenever and escort problematic passengers out, which is needed sometimes. I do enjoy my job, but I had my fair share of Karens, problematic passengers, and clueless people who were making my job more difficult. For example, part of my job is to carry heavy plates packed with hot beverages, cakes, and such stuff. The floor is constantly moving under my feet, and it really does not help that people are standing in the middle of the narrow aisle or have their bags there. The thing about the company is that the refreshments are very cheap, free coffee, which is or should be cafe quality. There is not enough time to make the coffee as good as it should be, because when the train is fully occupied, there are approximately 400 people for one barista to take care of, and people are treating the train as a cheap bistro. Because of the lack of time, we have a system of orders. I order the higher class first, get the refreshments, then I order the lower class and get them refreshments, then I collect the garbage and order the next cart I do need to take care of and rinse and repeat. Here goes Karen. She got a coffee, then wanted another one. I told her that I can order her in the second round of orders, that it would be approximately 15 minutes. She nods and I thought that is the end of that. As I am ready to bring the orders to the second carriage I am responsible for, here is Karen in the kitchen. The barista is doing her best to keep up with the orders from another 400 passengers. Karen asks her for another coffee and she explains that it wouldn't be fair to the passengers that did not get their order first and that she needs to go to her seat and that I'll be taking care of her needs soon. Karen does not like that and goes for the rant of how she bought a more expensive ticket because she wanted to have a lot of coffee and that we need to take care of her because the ticket was so expensive. Here goes my supervisor who shuts her, very politely, down with the information that the coffee is just a complimentary service and it is not included in the price of the ticket, that she paid for the comfort and the priority for the first order. She goes back to her seat. I am helping in the kitchen when he goes back and jokingly says something along, I think she wants to go on the date with me. She demanded my full name and phone number. As I was doing my job, she demanded my full name and phone number as well. I gave her my name since it is on my tag and I refused to give her my private phone number for obvious reasons. She then proceeds to go on the same rant that she made in the kitchen previously. Then later she notified me that she wrote an email to the company that will get me into trouble and possibly fired. Joke's on her, we are understaffed AF, so no worries on my side. I don't understand these Karens that think sending a note to corporate that I am doing my job exactly as expected will get me in trouble. Yeah, but do you know who she is? Oh, right, corporate doesn't either. I think long time ago, it used to work. Due to both, not having tons of people doing it, less Karens, and there used to be a higher sense of the customer is always right because the customer used to be respectful. Now it's more like, if we let this Karen get away with it, she will keep doing it, which technically true, but also is a culture shock for older people. The thing that interests me the most, where in the world can you get free coffee on a train ride? In Germany, you'll just get the free aroma of a doner, another passenger eats, and the announcement that the reservation system had an error, and some seats are double reserved, etc. Oh, and sometimes a train drives back to its origin station, so that the next ride can be punctual, at least, even so your train left the station timely, also. Here, the German rail is the Karen. It's a private train company. I would not like to give much details, because Well, company is not treating staff very good and I would like to have this job till the end of the year. But my country is bordering Germany. I am a huge fan of trains, rather be on a train than a plane any day. My favorite ride was when the crew members dumped a drunk guy out at a remote platform station at 2 a.m. for being drunk and belligerent to other passengers, as well as children. You guys do great work and are appreciated. Why do you need to stop to remove overly entitled passengers? Unlike a plane, a train has the same air pressure inside and outside, so opening a door does not pose a problem. What was the title of that Danny DeVito movie? The doors locks automatically in 5 km/h, so sadly no such option. A Karen honked at me while trying to load my baby and stubborn stroller into the trunk. This was my first encounter with a true Karen. I finished groceries. It was warm out, so the car was warm too. I loaded the baby into the car with the door open to let cooler air in and loaded the groceries and stroller into the trunk. The stroller was stubborn to collapse, so it took me 2 to 3 minutes. A loud honk startled me because Karen wanted the parking spot to my right and couldn't get into it because of the door being open and me struggling with the stroller. It took everything in me not to kick her car, lol. I took my sweet time finally getting it collapsed and loaded. Anyways. People are so awful in parking lots. My local grocery store has front row parking spots for parents with small children. I love parking there. A few weeks ago, I pulled into one of those spots, beating a woman with a minivan to it. I had the right of way, lol. I'm not a super young mom, but I am on the younger side and I definitely look like a teen mom some days. Anyway, the woman in the minivan honked at me as I pulled in, then stopped her car behind me to roll down her window and yell as I was getting out that these spots are for parents with children and can't I read? I honestly had no idea what to do and just stared at her as I put my baby carrier on and got my baby out of her car seat. She didn't even apologize, SMH. I hope you took your time getting into that car, letting it cool, check your phone, check on baby, check your hair. Oh wait, someone called you? Gotta take that. I did that when someone blew their horn at me while I was loading my baby in, because they wanted my spot. Suddenly I had to upload my receipt to fetch at that moment, call the doctor and take a couple sips on my drink. I'm gonna sit here and call my sister so we can talk about the lady waiting for me to back out and honked at me. We got time. The people who honk, aren't they scared that the other person will just take longer out of spite? LOL, if someone honked at me, I might just leave my car to go get coffee or something. This is only tangentially related, but when I'm in a half-full parking lot and get stuck behind someone who just sits with their blinker turned on, waiting 5 minutes for a family of 4 with a cart full of groceries to load up and back out, when there's a perfectly good free space 2 or 3 cars down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to murder that person. A couple of days ago, I got stuck unable to cross an intersection in our downtown area, because it's all one-way streets and some undercooked potato of a person slammed their car into reverse right as I was about to cross, and they backed up all the way to the road. Why? To wait for a stupid parking spot outside a restaurant when there were 2 open spots 10 feet away. If Lugnap Noah COA. I was standing at my daughter's door once struggling to get her into the baby carrier and there were 3 open spots right near me. This BH insisted on the one immediately next to me. I absolutely death glared and made zero effort or hurry or make space for her. Lack of situational awareness is the absolute worst. Like, can you not tell that you choosing this one is going to cause me added troubles when you could just jump into that open space right there and we could all go about our day? She maybe shouldn't have honked, but I can understand why she was frustrated. Obviously, I wasn't there so I don't know the situation or layout, but if she was older and you were parked near the front or cart return, she may have needed that spot for mobility reasons. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I would be hesitant to leave my car door open while I'm preoccupied with collapsing the stroller at the trunk. Especially if I was so preoccupied that I didn't notice a car waiting to turn into the spot beside me. I think maybe the stress of the moment has gotten to you. One honk after waiting 2 to 3 minutes of you not noticing her doesn't mean she's a Karen. She probably didn't know how much longer you'd be or that you'd left the door open on purpose. I do understand getting cross at these moments, but maybe she was getting a little frustrated. I can see both sides here. Why does she have to honk at all though? She couldn't have found another spot? She couldn't have rolled down her window and asked them to shut the door? I called out two abilists and they're too entitled to fight back. I work at a gas station and I have two customers who are freaking disgusting when it comes to learning disabilities. One is an entitled old man who I call Hank who talks to me like I am deaf. He always hyper-pronounces words and I usually roll my eyes because he seriously thinks I am stupid. The other is a lady I call Karen who acts like I have to know every cigarette on the wall or at least memorize prices, which I won't do. She talks down to me like I am a small child, which gets on my last nerve when I have a line. She also slings the R slur like it's in fashion. So on this day Karen and Hank were in the store. I was in luck to have my manager. I was being set to go on break when Karen demands I must serve her and do a split payment of cash and credit for gas, something my manager and I both explained to her that our system doesn't accept. She usually doesn't believe it and will tell us we will make an exception. So I went to break and was reading when of course Karen makes a snide remark to my manager. I didn't know she knew how to read. My manager, without missing a beat, tells her, "Why did you think she was illiterate?" Karen just scoffs and says loudly, "Well, we all know our at $% usually fake it, but she doesn't even know the name of the book." Memnock the Devil by Anne Rice. This copy is from 1995, bought by Mother. I can give you a summary, but it might bore you. I smile and finish my breakout. She was glaring at me. I don't play games. Neither do I. I return to stocking some cigarettes and other products. Hank does come up to the register with his usual drink and attitude of false pity. "I would like 4 from our borrow red shorts and a box, did you get that?" He talks slowly and loudly. My manager looks at him and says, "You know she's not deaf." Well, she is our at $% head and I was just making it easier. I finally spin around and looked Hank. It would be easier if you and Karen would stop acting like the world is coming to an end. A learning disabled can work a real job, and the fact that I have to remind you that I need to pay attention to what I am doing so I can give you the kind of customer service you need. Both stare at me and my manager just smiles. They're happy? To sum it up, I have two abilist clowns who can't seem to wrap their mind around the fact that learning disabled people can work jobs like at a gas station. That I am not deaf and not invalid. I really wish these two would stop acting like their world just shattered by me being there. Good job shutting them down. Bravo. This isn't the first time I did it. Karen started making fun of a customer who has brain damage and has to repeat what he is doing a few times. Okay, well, let me put it bluntly. No, you do not get to call anyone that. It is rude and disrespectful, and being disrespected, my manager says that I do not have to serve you. Please leave the store now. If you don't leave, I will call police. Of course, talk to your manager first, but I'm extremely surprised that he didn't kick them out for belittling you like that to begin with. No one deserves this kind of treatment, and you certainly do not have to put up with it. It seems to me they also have learning disabilities if they can't get it through their thick skulls that you are perfectly capable of doing your job. OMG, loved Rice's vampire series. Lestat totally stole my heart by the time I finished Memnock. You must seat us together. I was producing and managing a musical that was running at a theater in San Diego during Comic-Con. Because of the convention center crowds, we were absolutely slammed. Sold out every night with a walk-in waiting list a page long. We had two types of tickets, VIP and general admission. VIP tickets got a reserved seat near the front. General admission is open seating, first come first serve. One Saturday night, we check everyone in and start the show around 8:05 p.m. At 8:50 p.m., I was helping staff prep the lobby for intermission when an entitled woman, EM, and her 3 friends emerge into the theater. She gives their name to the usher and demands to be seated immediately as they don't want to miss more of the show. Now, they had general admission tickets. Because we are sold out and they are so late, we don't have 4 seats together. They would each have to sit separately, which understandably isn't ideal, but that's what you get by being over 30 minutes tardy. My usher informs her about this. EM absolutely loses her mind, screaming at my poor usher like she just kicked her dog. I immediately notice what's going on and head over to intervene. As I'm walking over to the front doors, I see EM grab my usher by the wrists and pull her roughly towards her. Now, I'm usually pretty understanding and will do what I can to make customers' experiences better. But the moment you put hands on my staff, you're done. I don't put up with assault, no matter how minor. I rush over and shout at this woman. What do you think you're doing? Get off of her. EM leaps back in shock for a moment. Then her face turns dark red in rage. This woman says she doesn't have seats for us. This is unacceptable. I ask my usher what's really going on. She explains to me. EM is seething while her friends look sheepish. She blurts. Look, you're just going to have to move another party so we can sit together. We refuse to be apart. It's not our fault we were late. We paid good money to be here. Now go make it right. I smiled okay. Give me a minute. I walked into the box office and pulled up their reservation. Saw they hadn't actually paid anything to see the show. They had gotten 4 comps from a promotion we did inside the convention center. I quickly canceled their tickets and printed out a confirmation receipt. I walked back out to her and handed her the paper. I've gone ahead and canceled your order. You'll see here you've been refunded the full amount you paid. Have a great night. She glances at the paper, pauses, and without a word she leaves with her friends in tow. Some people really do believe the world revolves around their needs. A villain and her minions. Glad you stuck up for the poor usher. She's the kind of woman who would proceed to ruin the musical. Yep. They did nothing to stop her yelling and grabbing. Good for you for standing up to her. These entitled people think they are above the law or workers. Assault is assault. You put your hands on someone without permission equals assault. Doesn't matter if you're the Queen of Sheba or a customer or anyone else. Hopefully her friends told her what a bee she was and set her straight. What you're describing is battery, but yeah, close enough. What a coincidence, we have 4 empty seats altogether in the dumpster. Please don't feed the raccoons. Funnily enough, I managed the FOH for a couple theaters in San Diego as well. So hi friend. Yeah, the Comic-Con folks tend to come in 2 varieties, the sweetest little nerds in the universe who are super upset at even thinking they did something wrong, or the worst most overprivileged people I wouldn't spare my spit for if they were on fire. Glad you're a manager who sticks up for their people and glad the EB got their comeuppance. Here's hoping your con time this year goes smoothly. Why are you running a promotion with free tickets when you're slammed with sold-out performances AMD a waiting list a page long? Because that's how the best promotions work? Free tickets to a high-demand show. You must be new. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.